Hi, I'm John Pullman, professional boxing trainer, owner of Pullman's Gym in Northridge, California, and this is Pullmanomics. George Foreman once said, "Sure, the fight was fixed. I fixed it with a right hand."
And Jerry Cooney's in big trouble. He's ready to go. And there he goes.
When I hear that quote, it makes me think about, obviously, a power punch, right? How to make sure the fight doesn't go to the judges or you're in complete control of the fight. It makes me think about everybody's favorite punch is the right hook, right? Throwing the hook from your backhand, whether it's a right hook or a left hook for left-handers. It's usually the last punch that I show in the series of punches because in the streets, everybody wants to throw it, and it really leaves you open if you don't throw it properly. So today, we're gonna try to show you how to throw it properly. Here, Josh Zuniga is gonna be in a nice right-handed boxing stance right now to help demonstrate the rear hook. It's gonna be a right hook for him, right? Again, everybody's favorite punch, you know what I mean, who doesn't box probably. So here he is in a good stance, right? Everything is right where it should be. His balance is right, his hands are in good position, his chin is down, right? Good stance. Now when you throw this punch, it has to be done, well, it has to be set up, right? Because you're very open when you throw hooks, particularly we're demonstrating to the head too, right? So when he throws his right hook, he wants to set it up. Usually he wants to set it up with straight punches. That'd be a good time to throw a right hook after you got your opponent already thinking about straight punches. For example, we're boxing, right? He's using his jab. He's using a straight right hand. I'm thinking about his straight punches, right? That'd be a good time to throw his hook, right? So he might throw a jab and then loop the hook around the side. Boom, right? After I'm thinking about straight punches, he looped that hook around. Now let's look at what he did here, right? Look at his legs, for example. He has a little more weight on his front leg. His right foot, his right shoulder, and his right hip are turned exactly the same as if he were to throw a straight right hand. The thing that changes is his right arm angle, right? Go ahead, go back. Let's try again, right? He throws his jab a little bit, get me thinking about it, setting up his hook, right? Throw his right hook. His arm angle comes, his elbow and his wrist and his hand and his shoulder, they're all kind of lined up one with each other. Even his hip, his foot, his shoulders, all anatomically correct for maximum use and power out of his body, right? Good, go back. Right, he uses his jab. Now, how long he makes his arm is going to be dependent on the opponent, right? If I'm a little closer to him, leaned over, his arm might be shorter. Now, if I'm farther away, he's going to use his jab, and his arm might be longer, right? Just like so. His other hand is up for protection, right? Everything is where it's supposed to be. Now, this is a good thing to think about, too. When you throw the right hook, go ahead and throw it. His shoulder and his hand are lined up right at the point of contact. Elbow is up, level with his wrist. This is very important because a lot of times I see guys get on the bag sometimes and their hand is making contact too far behind their shoulder. This puts a lot of strain on your shoulder. And when we get to the bag, we'll go over this more. But it's very important to position yourself like so with your feet and your body that your hand and your shoulder are pretty much lined up. Look at that. It's perfect technique. Everything is lined up. Golovkin punches really good like this. Speaking of Golovkin, sometimes he'll even turn his hand this way, which you see what he did with his wrist there? We teach it for the most part like this. I feel the best personally like that. But I've seen guys throw it like this. That's okay too, to practice. It could be a little dangerous for the wrist a little bit, so you have to be really careful doing that. But the first way to learn, I feel like you can get the most leverage this way. So this is a good way for us to practice, right? Good, he uses his jab and he shoots it. Boom, right there. So that's a good right hook. For the left-handers, we got to show you too as well. Left-handers are very important to me. Josh is really left-handed, so we learn a lot of this together, and he's going to get in his good boxing stance, left-handed boxing stance, right? So that's why we're going to go over the left hook, right? Shooting a left hook to the head from a left-handed position, okay? Now when he throws this, very similar to throwing a straight left hand. Throw a straight left hand for a second. Boom, right? See how he turned his feet? Got a little more weight here. He's on the ball of his back foot turned. His shoulder, his hip, his arm, his wrist are all lined up to get the most out of his body. Right hand's on his cheek there. Boom, that's perfect. Chin is down, eyes are up. Good. Now everything's the same. He's just going to now change his arm angle. That's the only thing that's going to be different. He's going to wrap his arm around his side to kind of go the straight left hand comes straight down the middle, right? Now this time he's gonna go around the gloves, like around the side. Look, boom, everything's the same. He turned his back foot, he's on the ball of his back foot, he got a little more weight in his front leg. This hand's up. His shoulder, his elbow, and his wrist are all lined up. That's very important. That's how you get the most out of your body. How your body's built, that's how you get the most, right? Try again. Boom, boom. Right, perfect, just like that. And he has his wrist like this. Sometimes people will throw it like this. That's okay too. I see Golovkin and Andre Ward sometimes throw their rear hook like that. That could be good. At times, for me, I feel like I can get more out of I feel things safer on my wrist. It feels more secure and stronger to throw like this personally. So that's the way we show it in the beginning. But there is a time and place for everything, right? Now watch what he does with his lead hand to kind of set up. He just don't stay here and just open himself wide open to throw the hook. He kind of sets it up with his jab, or he might feint, boom, or he sees the right opportunity and he throws it fast, boom. And it's better if it's unexpected too, right? Like if I expect the right hook to come, if I know he's just gonna throw a right hook, I can beat him with a straight shot. Straight shots always get there first, right? Do it again. I can beat him right here. My punch is on the inside. So it's very important. That's why it's very important to throw this at the right time and set up. That's why this is usually the last punch that we throw. We usually go straight punches first before we go over hooks for that reason, because they have to be thrown, you know, again at the right time and properly and safely. So that's Josh throwing a good left hook to the head. Josh here is going to get in a good right-handed boxing stance, and we're going to show you how to hit something with the right hook. You know, what that looks like, what that sounds like, what that feels like, right? So here's in a good boxing stance, right? And he's going to use his jab first, right? Pop, pop, good. Back up a little bit, right? Use his jab first, right? Make sure his distance is right. And when he feels right, he's going to give me a double jab and then a right hook right here. Bang, just like so. See him holding that in position? Everything is right. His hands up, his shoulder, his fists are lined up, his elbow. Everything is so we can get the most out of his body, right? This time he's going to snap it back. He's not going to leave it there. He'll shoot his jab for the setup, pop, and then pull it right back. Good. Then I'm going to get close to him. He's just going to come a little closer. Just going to shoot his right hook short. Bang, right there. That could be like you guys are on the inside and he just sees the opening, right? Boom, right around the side, right? Pop. If it's a long hook, he has to be careful. Wants to make sure it's set up. Pop, right there. Good. And you see how he's getting right back in his boxing stance for protection after. Pop. Good. He got his hands up. Good. He might roll. If he really commits to it, he really comes to me and he commits to it, he's probably going to roll. Whoop, for protection. Do that one again. Really come to me. Pop. Good. He might throw a double jab straight right first, right? Pop. Setting it up. Good. And then he comes with the hook. Pop. Good. So that's some good ways to practice your right hook to the head. Now Josh is going to be in his left-handed boxing stance, and we're going to go over the left hook to the head, right? Very important when you throw these hooks too, how we spoke about like this is everybody's favorite punch is a lot of times you want to pull it back before you throw it. You see a guy in the street wants to pull his arm back and throw a hook. You can see it come in, you leave yourself open. Not a great, smart thing to do. If he were to pull his left hand back, he probably can't even do it, but yeah, it leaves himself wide open for everything. He has a hard time even doing that, right? Because he's not taught that way or practiced that way. So he's going to shoot his left hook, and watch how it comes right from where it is. If we're close to each other, he shoots a short one, boom, right from there. He turns his foot, hands, everything's in the right position. Other hand's up, balance is on point, chin is down, eyes are up. Shoot a short one again right there. Boom. We might have been close to each other and he saw an opening, so he just went right around the side, right? But for long, he's probably going to use his jab to set it up. Give me a double jab and shoot a straight left hand first, right? Pop. Good. Got me thinking about that. Now you're going to see it's not going to be much difference when he throws his hook. Watch. Pop. The only thing different is the arm angle changes, but he shoots it the same way. Watch. Straight. Pop. Good. Then he's going to throw the hook. Pop. Good. Now he's got to worry about protecting himself after it too, right? If he really commits to the hook, he might roll. Pop. Whoop. Good. And they might throw it straight, throw me off. Pop. Good. These are good ways to really practice that rear hook, that left hook. Pop. Beautiful. Good. They might throw a jab. Pop. A straight left hand. Pop. One jab in the hook. Pop. Good. Again. Pop. Good. So it's good ways to practice your left hook to the head. If you have a heavy bag to work with, we're going to show you a great way to practice your right hook to the head on the heavy bag. So Josh is in a good right-handed boxing stance, right? And he's going to use his jab a little bit, right? Easy, set it up. Then he might throw a good jab, right? So he's thinking. He got in his mind he wants to land this right hook because he maybe saw an opening or he knows that this is a good shot for him and he likes to throw this shot, or he knows he can bait the guy into being open for it, right? So he might throw a double jab, straight right hand, right? Bang, good. Now the next time, he's gonna throw a double jab, right hook around the side. Watch, hold it. Bang, good. Now look what he did. He really checked, he's really checking himself out here. This is what I'm talking about, his shoulder. His shoulder and his fists are lined up really good on the heavy bag. He's not leading too much with his shoulder. His right foot is turned, everything's in place. Come a little closer, come closer to the bag. Now put your shoulder too far past the bag for a second. See, like this is what you wanna avoid. You wanna avoid, this is how you jam your shoulder. See how far in front of the bag he is? You can hurt your shoulder this way. You wanna make sure you adjust your body so you can line it up so your hand leads the way, like a battering ram, right? Like when they're gonna bust down a door, they don't lead with their head, they lead with the battering ram, so it does the damage. His fist, right? Right on the bag. Bang, right? Everything's right where it's supposed to be, right? So you might throw it easy a couple times, right? To make sure everything is where it's supposed to be. Then when you feel good, you go ahead and let it rip. The heavy bag, you can hit it good. Bang, right? He feels himself, then he lets it rip. Bang, good. Now he's gonna make sure he protects himself after too. You gotta think about all the levels, right? So he got the front end down, he set it up, right? Good, he's using his jab, he's thinking ahead, right? He's throwing the right hook properly, he's thinking in the middle, and then he's thinking on the end. He's protecting himself. So every process of the punch, you gotta think, the beginning, the middle, and the end, right? Jab, right? Setting it up, he might feint, all the things, all the other videos we use, the rhythm video, the feint video, the stance video, all this stuff is important for the next thing, right? And he throws a right hook and he rolls for protection. Bang, whoop, just like that. One more time, right hook to the head and protect yourself. Perfect. So if you have a heavy bag, this is a good way to practice your right hook to the head. Now Josh is going to demonstrate how to throw a left hook from a left-handed stance. So it'll be his rear hook on the heavy bag, right? Again, look how he starts in a good boxing stance, right? Hands are in good position. Balance is right. He's making sure his distance is appropriate for what he's going to try to do on the bag. So first he's going to use his jab a little bit to set it up, right? He's using his jab, thinking about what he's doing before he wants to throw his left hook. Using his jab, he might shoot a straight left hand, right? He gets him thinking about his straight punches, right? Then he's going to shoot his left hook, not too hard, just to get a feel for his distance, make sure his technique's on point. Hold it there for a second, Josh. Now he's going to check everything, right? This is good for you guys to do. Make sure his balance is right. Hold it in place. He got a little more weight, on his front leg. His back leg still engaged though. His back foot's turned, lined up with his elbow and his shoulder, right? This is important too. He's throwing it this way with his wrist, okay? And his wrist and his shoulder are lined up. His other hand's up. His chin is down. Everything is on point. You're gonna go back. Very important to come a little closer to the bag. If he gets too far, that's what you want to avoid. He gets too far over where his shoulder gets too far in front of his hook on the bag. This could put a lot of strain on your shoulders. You want to be careful doing this, right? You want to make sure you adjust your body so that your hand leads the way. Your hand and your shoulder stay right in line. Boom. Just like so. He also doesn't want to let his hand get too far in front either, so it gets too far across his body. That's not good either. You want to be right on point. So you got to move your body and your feet so your shoulder and your hand are right in line. Boom. Just like so. So he's not going across his body. If he needs to, he might even take a little baby step with his front foot. Bang. To set himself up. And look at his feet. Do that again, Josh. Boom. Right here. He's favoring this side. His right foot came over to the right a little bit. So he got all his weight going right into the shot. Right? He doesn't want his right foot to be on this side of the bag. Right? And he's punching across. That's no good either. Can't get any leverage there. So all these little things are important to think about when you're throwing all your shots. Your balance and your positioning is important, right? So on the front end, he's using his jab. Then he shoots his left hook properly, right in the middle. Bang, good. Now he's going to think about what does he do after. He got to protect himself too, right? He's using his little rhythm, his feints, his jab. Then he shoots his left hook. He protects himself. Rolled. Good protection because he committed so much with his left hook. It's the best, probably possible way for him to defend himself would be a roll. Watch. You hear? Rolls underneath. Good. Because if he just tries to pull back, sometimes he could pull back right into the shot. So if you really commit, you're probably rolling or smothering. Well, he might smother. Look, he commits. Bang! Right there with his hands up. That's another good way to protect yourself too. But the roll, right? Throws his hook. Bang! Good. So that's a good way to practice for you left-handers, your left hook to the head on the heavy bag. I hope you got a lot out of these videos. You know, we work really hard on these videos to try to give you good information. It means a lot to us to give you the best information we can. and we really appreciate you taking the time to watch them. Thank you.